In response to the presentation just given on computer science and if you need a degree, I wanted to present my knowledge, my understanding of how the computer science and the computer career world works based on my experience working in it for over 10 years. Okay, this is presented today by www.resumeforcomputerjob.com. We call this multiple paths to a computer career. Let's start with a few facts. There are many paths to get a computer job. The answer, I guess, is no, you don't need necessarily a degree to get a computer job, but what you need to do is be careful and be cognizant of the fact that there's only a few known paths that work for getting in the computer field. Each one has its pros and cons. Nothing is greater than the other. You have to just look at the pros and cons and weigh it out and judge for yourself which way is best for you. But I feel that this discussion in the video has opened up another discussion, which is what are the paths and how do we deal with this, particularly how do we as individuals learn about each path and which path do we take? Do we take path 1, path 2, or path 3, which I'll present for you right now? Path 1 is college. That's the most known one. That's the most common answer when somebody says, I want to work computers. Well, go to college and learn about them. There are pros. You're much more marketable if you go to college versus the other methods. You do get a higher pay at start because you have more credentials, and it's universal. If you go to college for a degree in computer science, you could work as a server admin person. You could work as a programmer. You could work as a low-level computer engineer. You could work as a computer mathematician, computer theorist. There are so many different ways you can market this piece of paper. But college ain't never got no cheaper, and it isn't going to get any cheaper in the long run. There is time involved. A bachelor's degree takes 4 years. Some schools even 5 years, because of the amount of information you have to consume and you have to take in order to get what they feel is a well-rounded approach. And because of that well-rounded approach, you get a lack of concentration. You're only going to spend maybe 15-20% of your total class time in computer or computer-related courses. The rest is going to be on humanities and social sciences and maybe gyms, and what colleges want to do is make you a well-rounded person, but that takes away from the time you could spend learning your craft. The second path is certifications. The famous ones are Cisco Certified Network Associate, CCNA, Cisco Certified Internet Networking Expert, CCIE, CCNP, A+, Network Plus, Project Plus, Server Plus, Security Plus, CISSPs for security. You have the MCSE or the MCITPs, Microsoft Certified Master, MCM, etc. There's specific knowledge, concentrated and focused. So when you study for the, let's say you study for the A+, at a lower level than some of the other certs, we in the field got a lower level cert, but it's still concentrated and it still shows and demonstrates knowledge specific to repairing, diagnosing, troubleshooting, and building personal computers. So, if you go for an A+, you demonstrate specific knowledge or specifically related to PC hardware and PC hardware troubleshooting and PC support, PC peripheral support. Now, the problem is there's a phenomenon in the certification world known as brain dumping, where they're actually taking parts of tests, they're putting them online, and because vendors and potential employers know this, some of them don't look at certifications as highly as they used to. Also, to kind of combat that, the sponsoring vendors who give these tests start putting expiration dates on them. What that means is now you have the certification valid only for a set amount of time. Cisco, I think, for most of them is 3 years. Microsoft, for the life of the application, but if you get the certification towards the end of the life of the application, you only get maybe 1 or 2 years out of it. A+, CompTIA stuff as of 2010. This is like 10 days left in 2010, and as of 2011, they're going to go to a 2 to 3 year model for everything they offer. This is how vendors are dealing with the fact that dumping is out there, saying, okay, well, we're going to make it valid this long, so we'll kind of discourage people from dumping. The third path is work the way up. It is possible to start at the bottom of the barrel or bottom of the totem pole and work your way up. Excuse me. But the problem is it takes time. And let's start with the pros first. It's a quick start. You can get into a job right now at the bottom of the basement, like a little tech or repair shop, if you have some demonstrated skills or you have some camaraderie with the person hiring. They can let you in even on a volunteer basis or a temporary place contract basis, which says, I'm not really employed, but I'll get paid a small wage, or I'll just work free for a couple weeks for you to see how good I am. That being said, if you do that, then you offer a lot to the company, which they in turn could return to you in form of employment. It's cheapest. There's no college cost. There's no certification, books, classes, exam costs. The least amount of prep time involved. You don't have to study for a test, study for a bunch of tests in college. You just work your craft and demonstrate your craft. The cons are lower overall pay. They're not going to pay someone who worked their way up necessarily as much as they pay somebody with a master's degree in MIS and a Microsoft certified systems engineer and a CCNP. Those are two, even though they're doing the same job, those are two totally different pay categories. And that's something the person who works their way up has to understand. They will never earn the top dollar unless they play the politics role, which is a part of this. Because now, because you don't have paper, you're kind of more dependent on the job that you're at now, sometimes stuck in the same company for a long time. And you have to kind of massage the fact that you don't have the paperwork by maybe playing politics a little better. If you ever go to a computer job or any job in general and see there's some people that are very outspoken, those are usually the ones that are overqualified for the job or nearly overqualified. And what they've done is they've leveraged their overqualification to be able to say what they want to say because of the fact they won't get rid of them. Excuse me. Keep in mind that when it comes down to it, it's all about the money. And if it doesn't cost, if you're only paying somebody 50% of their value, and let's say $40,000, they're worth $80, you're only paying them $40, trust me, they'll put up with some of your shenanigans. Now, how much is variable, but they'll put up with some of your shenanigans for 50% cut in how much they got to pay out to you. My final thoughts are there are multiple paths to getting in the computer career world. There's not just one way which says a degree. There's the degree way, the certification way, the work your way up way, and there's other smaller ways, but those are the three major ones. No answer is the right one. Each one has pros and cons, and you have to completely evaluate the situation for you to make a conscious decision that's best for you. Ask yourself why. Why am I going into this computer field? And what about it do I want to go into? If you're going into it because you love discovering knowledge and you love finding out new things at a micro level, the college level might be best for you. If you're going into it because you want to learn new systems, you want to study specific applications or specific software or specific architectures, the certification route may be best for you. If you're going in because you know it and you just want to make some money out of it, then maybe just the work your way up way is best for you. But you have to ask yourself, why am I going into it? In any event, when you go into your job or you apply for jobs in the career field of IT, particularly computer science related fields or computer fields in general, you'll need a good resume and a good cover letter. Please visit www.resumeforcomputerjob.com for all your IT resume needs to make whatever skills you have, craft it to the best of your abilities to get that interview to increase that pay potential.